by a show of hands, who here celebrates Christmas like on November 1st? Like starts celebrating Christmas. Okay, I'm not alone. That's me. All right, I see you. That's me. Like as soon as November 1st starts, I'm like, all right, let's bring out the Christmas decor. Like I've already started listening to Reliant K's Christmas album, which means nothing to you guys, but everything to the leaders. So that was just for them. So like I love it, right? And so I love that JVox kind of took that approach, right? Like we're already celebrating Christmas, and it's not even Christmas time yet. Like for me, Thanksgiving is just like a brief intermission. And then we just go back into Christmas. Like that's how it works for me. And so we already started talking about Christmas, and we're talking about Advent. And basically what Advent is this time where we just begin to discuss and celebrate the days leading up to Christmas. And we begin to discuss different themes, different characteristics of what it means when Christmas comes. And what we celebrate is the birth of Jesus and what themes come with that. And so we've already started discussing that. And I today get to talk about something that I know all of us have dealt with, deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I have two questions. Who here has ever been stressed? Just stressed at any point? Been worried, anxious about something? Okay. Who here, on the flip side, has ever felt peace? Who here has ever felt peace? That I'm like, I'm relaxed right now. Okay, yeah, so exactly. Like everyone here has dealt with this. Today we're talking about peace. But what I want us to really get today is to figure out and to learn that there are two types of peaces, right? There's worldly peace, and then there's the peace that's discussed on in the Bible. So we're going to talk about, can we go to the first slide, please? The word in the Bible, the original word in the text is the word shalom. Everyone say shalom. Shalom. It's a greeting, but also it means completeness, soundness, welfare, and last word, peace. So when I was hearing about this and when I was learning about this word, it really stuck out to me that, man, shalom also means that it makes something complete. Shalom, peace, means that there's something missing. Ready for this pun? It means that there's a piece missing, right? Like something's missing. And the thing that's missing is peace. And so before we dive any deeper into this discussion, before we talk about the difference of a worldly peace and a godly peace, I want us to break off into our tag groups, and we're going to go through two questions. We can put those up right now. The first question is going to be, what is something that stresses you out? Everyone raise their hand here. Like the majority of us said, some stresses me out. There's things that cause me stress. And we'll be real, like, I know that people here can be stressed about homework. People here can be stressed about family. People here can just be, you name it. So today, I want you guys to talk to your tag group leaders, ask them, or tell them what is something that stresses you out, and then, if that problem were to disappear, would you have peace? All right, let's take a few minutes doing that, and then I'll jump back up. All right. Cool. So I walked around. I love hearing your guys' discussions. And I only walked around this side of the room, although I'm sure that similar things stress both sides out. Number one thing that stresses you guys out, homework, school. Like, that's something that people are stressed about. I loved an interaction over there where someone said, when you don't study for a test, and then the leader said, well, that's just called a consequence. I love that. But that's so true though. Like tests and homework, that's something that's stressful. So the way I want to handle all of this is I want to break this up into 4 sections. I want to make this really digestible for you guys, really easy for you guys to understand. So the way I did this, I got a little creative, and we're going to call this the story of peace. Okay, and there's 4 chapters to this story. And so I want us to put up the first slide of chapter 1. And the title of this chapter is The Problem. Okay? Everyone say the problem. Everyone here has talked about how something stresses them out. And we'll be real. I know that there's things that you guys are probably dealing with that you might not tell your leader. Some of that might be that your parents might be getting a divorce. Some of that might be that a family member is really sick. Some of that might be that you are really sick. Another thing could just be that you're failing your classes. There are things that are really big that are stressing you out. There are things that maybe like I didn't study for a test, that's stressing you out too. But the thing is, a problem exists, and that problem is stealing you of peace, okay? So that's the problem. What I love about the Bible is that there's literally a verse for everything that we deal with. So I'm going to read just a small portion of a verse. And that's the next slide. When it talks about in John 16:33. And it says, in this world you will have tribulation. Tribulation is just a really fancy word to say problems. So get this. The Bible is letting us know, hey, in this world, as long as you're alive, you're going to have problems. You're going to have situations that are going to rob you of your peace. You're going to have things that is going to cause you anxiety. There's going to be things that is going to cause you to be sad, to worry. Every single year, I feel like it says that the youngest generation is the generation that struggles the most with anxiety. Like anxiety is at an all-time high for students. And so today I want us to acknowledge that hey, we have a problem here with peace. We have a problem here handling anxiety, depression, worry. And the thing is that we all identified a peace that we have, but we identified the wrong peace that we should be running towards. See, what we just talked about in this tag group is that there's a peace that exists that's worldly peace. And that peace exists when everything around you is going okay. When we asked you guys, hey, if all your problems went away, would you have peace? And the majority of you guys said, yeah, I'd have peace. And that makes sense. It makes sense to have peace when everything around you is at peace. But what if I told you that there's a peace that exists, that when everything around you isn't peaceful, when things around you are all going wrong, that you can still have peace? That's the peace that we're talking about today. That is shalom peace. That when you're in a crazy situation, that when you're dealing with something that's super stressful, that when you're dealing with a bad situation, that you feel at unrest, something's missing, and only shalom peace can make you whole. That's the peace that we're talking about today. And this is where peace and the story of peace comes into play. So chapter number 1, there's a problem. We know that there's things that are causing us to not have peace. So let's go on to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is titled, The Arrival of Peace. Well, hold on. So we have a problem. Everyone's stressed out, but wait. Peace comes on the scene. Let's go to the next verse. It says Isaiah 9:6. It's titled Isaiah 9:6. Right here, Isaiah is a prophet. Isaiah gives this prophecy. He's saying, hey, this is what's to come in the future. He's letting the people know in the Bible, and way before Jesus comes into the scene, he's saying, hey, this is what's to come. And Isaiah says, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulder. He's talking about Jesus. Now get this. He gives Jesus 4 titles, and he shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and get the last one, Prince of Peace. So check this out. Chapter 2, the arrival of peace. We're told that something is coming. And right here, we're celebrating Christmas. We're talking about Advent. When Jesus is born, the Prince of Peace comes to this world. He's the one that is going to give us the ultimate peace. He's the one that's going to give us shalom peace, the peace that surpasses understanding. When we were doing worship, the song that we were listening to that sang Firm Foundation, it said that you give us a peace that we don't quite understand. Friends, worldly peace makes sense. Worldly peace says that you can only have peace when there's nothing wrong going on. Godly peace, shalom peace, when you rely on the Prince of Peace, says, hey, you can have peace even in the midst of your worst moments. That's shalom peace. So we know that, okay? I know many of you guys are familiar faces that you come a lot, so you might not know the Lord. So how does this apply? We hear that he's the Prince of Peace. We hear that peace has arrived, but man, how does this all play out? So glad you asked that. Let's go on to chapter 3. Okay, so we have chapter 1, there's trouble, okay? The problem. Chapter 2, peace has arrived. That's Jesus. Chapter 3, the gift of peace. How does this happen? How can we access this peace? How did this happen? Just because Jesus was born, does that mean we have peace? Well, In chapter 3, when we're talking about the gift of peace, when you guys are thinking through what shalom is and how we get to this shalom peace, I want us to focus on Colossians 1:19 through 20. Here's our answer. It says, "For God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross." What does that say? By making peace. Listen, Jesus, when he came on this earth and when he died on the cross and when his blood was shed, peace was brought onto this earth. This is what's known as the good news. This is what we talk about when people mention the gospel. The gospel is simply this, that you and I, everyone in this world, everyone, there's not a single person that doesn't fit this description. Everyone here is a sinner. And everyone deserved punishment. But God, in his grace, he says, he sent his son to die on the cross. He lived a perfect life here on earth. And when he died, he was given as a sacrifice. And when he died, he covered us and made us righteous. So here's the thing. He not only gave us salvation, but there's more to it. Our life just doesn't start in heaven. We're called to have abundant life here on earth. And part of that means to have shalom peace, a peace that surpasses understanding. Now, do you guys remember that verse that we started off with that said, hey, in this world you will have tribulations? I didn't read the full verse to you guys. So John 16:33, the full verse says, and this is Jesus speaking, "I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace." And it's the next slide, please. There you go. "That in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Y'all, so get this. So right in the middle of it, we were told, hey, there's going to be problems in this world. But Jesus is saying, hey, do not worry. Have peace. I have overcome the world. Friends, you might be in that moment when you receive bad news. You might be in a moment that's really stressful. You might be in a moment where you're saying, man, I am really dealing with anxiety right here. But have peace. Remember that when Jesus died on the cross and he defeated the grave, he defeated sin, he gave unto us a peace that makes us whole, a peace that can't be shaken. He has overcome the world. So when these thoughts come into your head, when you begin to worry, when you begin to feel sad, when you feel overwhelmed, you just think of this verse and remind yourself, wait. My peace and my trust is not on the circumstances around me. It's in my God. It's in Jesus, who has already overcome this problem. He has already overcome the world. When he died on the cross and he shed his blood for me, he already defeated this. So peace, shalom peace, is different. It's different because it cannot be shaken. Now, I know many of you guys know this. But there's a difference between knowing it and experiencing it. When we're talking about Christmas, and I'll admit it, yeah, I'm an adult, but I'll accept any gift. I love gifts, okay? So when we're talking about Christmas, I would say that everyone here is probably going to receive a gift at some point, right? But you'd agree with me that when you receive a gift, you don't just take it and you're just oh, cool. And you just set it down. No, that's not how a gift works. When you receive a gift, you have to unwrap it. You have to open it. You have to look at it and say, oh, wow, this is a great gift. I can't just be oh, okay, this is cool. Let's go on to chapter 4. This is the last chapter, and this is the chapter that is most important that I want you guys to fully understand. So in the story of peace, we have a problem, and that is there's something that exists that robs you of your peace. There's something that's going to stress you out. Number 2, we know that peace has already arrived here on earth, and that was Jesus and the birth of Jesus. We know that when Jesus died on the cross, he gave us peace. He gave us the opportunity. He offered us this gift. But right now, where we are in this story, right before we end chapter 4, is right now, all of you guys, I picture you guys, just picture yourselves just holding a gift. You're just holding a box that's still wrapped up. My question for you guys is, are you going to unwrap this gift? Are you going to open it up? Are you going to look in and say, hey, I accept this gift. I'm going to experience this gift.